Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Shaw Academy. I am Richard Hegarty and I am the educator here on your Diploma in Digital Marketing. This is lesson 3, the benefits of blogging. So this is an on-demand lesson, so it's not a live lesson. So don't worry if you're watching this and thinking, did I miss a live lesson? You didn't. This lesson and lesson 6 are both recorded lessons. So we record these and upload them. They're an on-demand lesson. Now, the reason we do this is because we don't want to overload you guys with commitment for live lessons. So we have 8 live lessons and 2 recorded. So, it's very manageable. So you're all very welcome to the lesson. We're going to go straight into it and have a look at, as usual, what our agenda will be. Well, we're going to have a look at what is a blog. So we'll give a definition and have a clear look at what a blog actually is. We'll then be looking at, is blogging for you? So blogging's not for everybody, and that's important to note from the beginning. Depending on your business needs, depending on your own skill set and resources that you have, it may or may not be for you, but it's definitely worth investigating and having a look at it and making sure that we make a clear decision whether it suits our business or not. We'll then have a look at the different types of blogs. So there's a number of different types, so we'll go through them in detail. We're going to have a look at why should you have a blog? So what's the reason? What's the point? What's the benefit? We're going to look at the golden rules of blogging. Very important if we do decide to go ahead with a blog, that we have got those golden rules in our mind. We're going to talk about how to create a blog. So we'll actually have a look at setting up a blog and how to go about that. We'll have a look at some examples of some of the big blogs globally, and they'll be easy for us to draw from in terms of what direction we want to go in. And then in the end, we'll go through our usual conclusion. There won't be the usual Q&A, obviously, because this is a recorded lesson, but you can contact us with any questions that you have as you go through the lesson. If any questions come up, just drop them into an email and send them across to myself or your support manager. Let's start from the beginning. Let's have a look at it. What is a blog? A blog is a discussion or information site published on the World Wide Web that consists of discrete entries known as posts, typically displayed in reverse chronological order. That's obviously the most recent a post appears first, and that's what we want. Okay, so a blog is a frequently updated online personal journal or diary. It's a place where you express yourself to the world. It's a place where you share your thoughts and your passions. Really, it's anything you want it to be. For our purpose, we'll say that a blog is, your own website that's going to be updated on an ongoing basis. So from a commercial point of view, it's about engaging with your online community. And the objective is to drive conversions. So that's what we'll be looking at from that point of view. Simply put, a blog is frequently updated online personal journey or diary. So think about it in the maybe the original sense of like writing a diary or a personal journey. Well, it's the same principle, and we can apply that then in our personal life or in a commercial setting as well. So let's have a look and see, is blogging for you? So do you have a message is the first question you need to ask yourself. So ask yourself that, do I have a message here? Well, there's many of applications for blogging. Underlining most, if not all of them, is the aim of communicating some sort of a message. So we need to know what we want to communicate. We need to ask ourselves, do you need or want to communicate something? Is there something you want to share? What is your message? So starting the blog just because you want have a bit of fun and give it a go, it might be a bit of fun and that could be fine, but it also could be a waste of time or do damage. So we need to know clearly before we go into it, before we decide is blogging for us, we need to know what our message is. So be clear about that, think about that, ask yourself, depending on what your business is, what's the actual message I want to convey here? I don't want to just set a blog up so I have a blog and throw an update here and there. I really want to be clear about what I'm trying to say. Then we need to ask, are you a good communicator? So to foster relationships and increase readership, the most successful bloggers also respond to their blog readers' comments, as well as engage people on Facebook and your other social media platforms like Twitter or LinkedIn. So you'll need to engage people on your blog. So this is not your strength. You might need to bring somebody in. It's about Think of it, it's about communication, it's about being available, it's about talking, it's about listening. So think about why people, want to listen to you, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life. It's usually because you're interesting, you're funny, you've an authority in something, you've got some information that people want to listen to, and that's why, they want to listen to what you have to say. I know, I think of my wife, for instance. She thinks I'm funny, so that's what keeps her coming back. So we need to think about how we communicate with people, how we can connect to people, and then use our strengths in that way, and translate that into the blogging. Okay, so do you want your site to be an industry leader? So a blog is one of the best ways to establish yourself and your brand as an expert in your field. It gives you a platform for sharing important industry-related information and insights. As you build up authority in your niche, this breeds trust, familiarity, keeping on top of your mind what the prospects or readers want to buy. It increases conversion rates. So you can build trust and become an authority. So when the customer is ready to make that purchase, they'll think of you automatically. You need to give it away for free. What do I mean when I say that? I mean, give the information, the knowledge, give it all away for free. The sale will come later. With blogging, it's about information, informing, being authority, engaging with the community. The sale will come in its own time from that. When people think about making a purchase, as I said, they'll remember you because they feel you're knowledgeable and an authority in that area. Now, one thing you do need to keep in mind is, ask yourself, are you thick-skinned? If you're a little sensitive, this can be a tough area to kind of operate in. So, although most of us, will have blogs and our regular readers will tell us how much they enjoy the articles, not everyone on the planet's going to agree with you. So at times you might even get people being nasty. Now, constructive criticism can be actually a good thing. It is a good thing because it's going to, and varied Facebook will help you, comments from Facebook and other social media, it's going to help you improve. Getting a varied opinion across your readership will help you to improve. So, don't take it personal, when somebody's making comments or disagreeing with you on your blog. Learn from that. It's a way to do that. But you do need to be a little thick-skinned. So it's very important to remain calm and professional at all times. As we say, you don't want to feed the trolls. So, trolls are people online who just go around different platforms and blogs and just be really negative and nasty, trying to get a rise out of you. So don't feed them. Don't get involved with that. If we think about lesson 2, when we looked at Amy's Bakery, let's not do that. That's, we don't ever get into a battle or get into the ring with the public and start challenging them and reacting is not a good thing. So, the thing to remember is you can't keep everybody happy all of the time. Some people will like your blog and think it's useful, some might not. That's fine. Some people will have criticism, some people think you're great. So it's about improving and refining and listening to everybody. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to keep everyone happy, keep everyone thinking your blog is the best blog ever. So that's just something to bear in mind if you do decide to go into this area. One big question you need to ask yourself is, do I have the time? Now, linked to the need for regular update is the fact that this takes time. Do you have enough time in your schedule to write daily? You need to ask yourself that. Not only, do you have time to moderate comments or respond to readers' questions, but you need to read other blog posts. You need to network with other bloggers. So have you time to do that? There's nothing worse than looking at a blog, an out-of-date blog that's like a few months out of date. Like, I think about rugby. I come from a rugby family. All my family like rugby. We all played rugby as kids. And I'm not a fanatic, but I like reading a little bit about rugby. I go to a certain blog and I read about it. If I went there and there was an old post, like the last post was from 3 months ago about some game that had no relevance anymore, guess what? I'm gone and I'm never coming back. So, the message is to ask yourself these questions. Before you set up this blog, you're going to have to invest time in it, and you decide from the beginning what time you can allocate to it and then build on that, because no one's going to tell you to get up off your butt and get in gear and start blogging. There's no one going to be there doing that. So you need to be self-motivated and self-disciplined to start a blog and keep working on it until it's successful. You can hire people to do some of the work as well if you have the resources to do that. So it's very important to, as well, when you do, and if you do decide to get into blogging, to kind of, like I always say, like that which gets measured gets done. So measure what you're doing. Keep your journal about what you're working on and how it's going for you, how you're progressing. So if you can answer yes to all the above, well then yes, blogging is for you. But let's have a little look at the different types of blogging. So first of all, we have our personal blog. So we're probably most familiar, I would say, with that. The personal blog it's an ongoing diary, a commentary written by an individual. So this can be individuals online who talk about travel or sport or life or their own daily life or their daily struggles. And they can be very interesting. People like to read about what's going on in other people's lives and learn and help one another in the community. So that's absolutely fine. Microblogging, this is the practice of posting small pieces of digital content, which could be text, pictures, links or short videos or other media, all on the internet. So microblogging offers a portable communication mode that feels organic and spontaneous to people. This has captured the public's imagination. So, a big example of this is Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, in particular Twitter, that microblogging, those small, sharp statements and sentences about our business. So this is what microblogging is all about, and it can be utilized from a commercial point of view, and it is in business more and more as we go on. So definitely, a lot of us are already on microblogging ourselves, and just to know that exists, and that is something that we can utilize for our business and commercial needs. So now we have group blogs. So you've got these collaborative blogs or group blogs. It's a type of blog in which posts are written and published by more than one author. So the majority of high-profile collaborative blogs are based around single themes. So one united theme, such as politics or technology. So in recent years, blog spheres have seen the emergence and growing popularity of more collaborative efforts, often set up by already established bloggers. So they're wishing to pool their time together, resources, and then reduce the pressure of maintenance and attract a larger readership. So think of it in a way of a collaborative blog or a group blog. Perhaps there's 3 friends that have a successful blog and they're all writing, blogging about soccer. So they set up a group blog. So why did they do that? Well, they've got more traffic because they've combined all of their efforts together, and also it's less time required, so they can share the blogging, so they can take a day each or 2 days each. So it's this is something to consider if you're already up and running, or if you know other bloggers in a similar area to you. Then we have the corporate and the organizational blogs. This will be the blog type that we're going to focus on most of this lesson. So a blog can be private, as in most cases, or it can be for business purposes. So blogs are internally to enhance the communication and culture in a corporate, or externally for marketing, branding, or public relations purposes. They're all called corporate blogs. So the idea is we're trying to get our audience to make a conversion. So we've discussed what a conversion is in previous lessons. It's what you decide it to be. So it could be make a purchase, read a newsletter, share an article. It's up to you. But ultimately, that's what we're trying to do in a more of a slow burner kind of way. We're getting the reader to go and read the blog, become an authority in the area, get the customer more familiar with us, help to nurture the lead, and then ultimately look for a conversion in whatever we decide that to be. Okay, so then we have reverse blog. A reverse blog is composed by its users rather than a single blogger. So this system has the characteristics of a blog, and the writing is of several authors. So this can be written by several contributing authors on a topic, or open up for anyone to write on. So there's some kind of limit to the amount of entries, because otherwise it becomes a web form. So some of the advantages here, you can have a lot more traffic, but obviously the dangers is you're letting anybody post on your blog. So depending on the business and what you're trying to do, this may or may not be something that suits your business needs. So it's about looking at these different types of blogs, seeing which fits in for you and which one you're going to focus on. Okay, so why would we have a blog? What's the point in having a blog? Well, first and most important, I would suggest, is it increases search engine traffic, so search engine optimization. So search engine loves fresh content. what better way to provide frequent content than with blog posts? By blogging consistently, you'll give Google and other search engines a new content to index. So it gives you the opportunity to use your keywords, talk about your product, your services in a very natural, organic way. Now we're going to cover this in our search engine optimization lesson in lesson 6, but and also, you know, in our blogging course we cover this in more detail. But just to note that people might ask themselves, so what's the point in blogging? Well, this is a really, really big benefit. It really does help you in terms of your search engine optimization, in terms of people finding you online. You're able to use all of this content over and over again, and Google, they love that. So it generates inbound links. Okay, so it can help you to generate inbound links. So having high quality inbound links to your site's one of the best and one of the 3 pillars of SEO. You know, but without a blog, it can be extremely difficult to attract authority links to your business website. So when you add content that serves as a resource for other bloggers and media, so they start to read your blogs, and they basically will link back to your own website or your own blog. So like journalists, authors, other bloggers, if they start referencing you in their own articles, well, these links are very important from SEO, and it also can generate significant referral traffic going back to your site. We talked about the importance of referrals in lesson 2 and to ask for referrals. Well, this is a really good way to get natural referrals back to your site. So like if you have a blog and say you're blogging about cars and you're really into cars, you're very knowledgeable, and in particular you're into BMWs and you're writing lots of blog posts about BMWs, and then BMW themselves actually, you know, they reference your blog posts. Well, like if they reference your blog posts back to your site, this blog post will carry huge weight from an SEO point of view. You've got this huge authority, BMW. Google will look through their algorithms and see, whoa, this is quite relevant. This website here, this blog here, is linked to BMW, and BMW has linked it back to that blog. So there's a network there, there's a connection there. So you know you're linked to an authority in cars, BMW. So from SEO point of view, it'll be very, very helpful. But also from a referral, if I'm on BMW's main website and I'm reading and there's an article about Richard's blog post and then a link to click back to my blog, well, look, a lot of traffic is going to come through to my blog, which is a good thing. Okay, so established authority in the industry. So well-written articles demonstrate your company as an industry leader. So by posting topics which, you know, resonate with your market and show your knowledge, you're marketing your skills for your business, services, or your products. So if you're a retailer, for example, you might write blog posts about your products. Customers will get to know you as the knowledgeable source in that industry. And then, you know, when they go to look for your products, they want to talk to you. They want to come to you. So if you're in B2B, well, posting like articulate, well-researched articles about your services, becoming the hub, the place where people want to be for your industry. This is going to build trust as well. So the more you can show that you're well versed in the field, the more likely your consumer will trust you and supply, you know, for you to supply what they need. I think of LED lighting. It's an interesting an industry I feel interested in. It's been growing over the last 10 years and continues to. But if you know, and I've worked with a number of businesses looking after their digital marketing in LED, so I'm a little bit familiar with it. But one point I've noticed is different websites, you know, for example, LED lighting is a way to save energy and reduce running costs. So you might go to see, to buy an LED light bulb, and it'll just be the light bulb there, a little bit about the bulb and the price, which is fine. But what about the customer who's going there, who's heard about LED or interested but doesn't know? Well, if you have a blog about the benefits of LED, some history about LED, some breaking technology, and the fact that you can reduce your running costs by 90%, and here's a case study of a business who saved 10,000 within the first year, return on investment was in 2 years, all of this information. So even selling light bulbs, you can and it is possible to blog about them, to get your niche area and to educate them, give them the information, become an authority in the area. So when people think to go and buy their light bulbs or LED, well, they know where to go because they've already been there, they've already been educated, they trust you. So it also, having a blog increases leads and improves conversion rates. So in simple terms, the more you blog, the more leads you generate. So if you have a large traffic flow to your website, landing, on your blog page and signing up for newsletters, then you're creating more leads because you're getting these leads, you're nurturing these leads, you're building trust and authority, and then you can convert these leads in a natural, organic way that you will. So it's about building up that traffic flow. It's about building up the trust and becoming an authority. And then this will also, if you have a lot of traffic flow coming to your blog, this can open up huge opportunities for affiliate partnerships. Now we're going to cover affiliate partnerships and affiliate marketing in detail on lesson 7, but just do note that it does open up a lot of opportunities for you. Okay, so according to HubSpot, overall ROI, so your return on investment, is also more likely to increase for companies who blog. So in fact, businesses who prioritize blogging experience a 13% increase in their return on investment year after year. So there is money to be made in this area. Blogging is not something that you can't monetize or you can't capitalize on from a commercial point of view. There definitely is ways to do that. Okay, so let's, some further advantages. Well, it gives your brand, it gives you the opportunity to show the human side. So carefully crafted websites, content, homepage, or about us, they can't hold a candle to a blog post when it comes to showing off your personal side of your business. So blogging gives your business a way to, to keep in touch with issues and concerns and interests that you have, that your customer has. While you're sharing what you and your employees are passionate about, people will listen to you when you're passionate about what you're talking about because they can feel it. I know here at the Show Academy, and hopefully you guys are starting to get a sense of this, and you definitely will as the course goes on, we're all very passionate about what we do here. So you just don't work at the Show Academy unless you're passionate about what you do. So, it's about being passionate, about finding what you're passionate about, and then when you talk about that, it shows. So your blog post will give you a unique opportunity to share your voice, your personality, build up trust, and increase your brand's likability. Okay, connects people to your brand and encourages discussion. So by blogging, you're going to be able to do that. It gives the business the opportunity to connect with the customers and prospect customers through a two-way conversation. So it signals to the visitors that you're open to comments, feedback, even criticism. And from a business perspective, learning on what's on the minds of our customers, well, it's marketing gold. To know what our customer is thinking, how they're feeling, what their perception is, that's worth its weight in gold. It's huge. You can use the dialogue to ask further questions, kind of gain new insights into your customers' needs, structure your content and marketing then around what your customer needs are. And it's a way to do market research. Really, it's a very, very powerful way to do market research. Okay, it also supports your social media initiatives. So like every time you write a blog, you create an opportunity for your audience to share this blog with others. Whether it's a link to the blog post, or let's tweet it or email it. Once you put that content out there, you're giving your customer the opportunity to share and talk about it, comment on it, create, that content is then going across the internet into different customers' accounts and being shared across different platforms. So it can be very, very powerful. It's free marketing. It's further validates you as a credible business. So basically, let's have a look here. We obviously blog. We're talking about it. We're teaching about it. We're good at what we do. So we do blog, and we blog about all the different subjects that we have. So it's a screenshot I've taken before, and it's on the Show Academy Facebook, and it's one of our blog posts that we shared, and it's photography, the do's and don'ts of building a photography portfolio. So I have a small interest in photography. I like taking pictures. I don't know too much about it, but if I did and I was really into it, well, the do's and don'ts of building a portfolio in photography, that sounds quite interesting to me. Now, what I can do then is I can click on it, I can read it, I can share it with my friends who are also interested in it. So we've gone ahead and created blog posts. We've created it to our audience that are interested in it. We've, listened to what they say, and then they are in that niche area, say of photography, for example, and they're sharing it with their friends. They're sharing it on their own social media platforms because it's interesting to them, because it makes sense to them. So we need to target our audience, but it does give us that opportunity to, really optimize our social media efforts. Okay, so I want to go to the golden rule of blogging, the golden rules of blogging even. Stay focused and on point. So it's really important. Think about, let's have an analogy of the movies. So you got the bad guys, they're firing in all directions, but they hit nothing. The good guy comes out, he aims carefully, he shoots once, and he does it right. So the internet's full of websites that expand on many fronts, but they don't offer an in-depth insight into any of them. So stand out from the rest of the crowd by defining your passion. Stay on point. Think about it clearly, what you're about, what you want to blog about, what really shows your personality, and then stick to that point. Don't get lost. It's easy to do that. Post regular content, but not at the expense of quality. So we want to post regularly, interesting content that our community will engage with, and often, will help us in terms of knowing what our customer wants to do. But we don't want to just put out any content. Quality is better than quantity. So make sure it's good content, and not just, if you find yourself writing a blog post because you feel, oh, I've got to get this blog post done, get this out here, you need a pause. Okay, post regularly enough that you don't strain yourself too much. Match your own pace. Different people have different paces and different resources available, so don't try to match up with others at all costs. If your audience becomes used to you at a certain pace, well, then they'll expect you to keep up that pace. So what I'm trying to say is, if you set up a blog, don't go out really excited and think, great, I'm blogging every day, but in a month's time you're blogging once a week, and in 2 months' time it's once a month, and then and it just kind of drifts away. Because once you start blogging, if you're doing it daily, your customer is going to expect you to do it daily. So if you're doing it once a week, well, then your customer will realize that you blog once a week, and if they're happy with that, then that's fine, and then you can build it from there. Then you can start to blog twice and 3 times a week, if you get the time resources. But I would say start small and build from there. Okay. Speak the language of your audience. So different niches have different, there's different slang words and terminology. So words like business angels, cha-ching, joint venture, they're all natural to the business blogger. But remember, you have an audience that you have to live up to the common dictionary that shares with these people. So utilize the specific terms whenever it's needed, but don't overdo it. So you're not trying to write an academic essay. You're trying to give an insight into a specific topic, but don't fake it. Be yourself. All in all, be genuine. Think about the slang in your own niche, the expectations of your readers. Think about the language and the terminology. Try and combine them in the best suitable way. And while we're on the topic of writing, be precise. Use short sentences. Watch out for your grammar and spelling. Be straightforward. Think about it, because everybody loves simplicity that delivers knowledge. I like reading blogs that's simple, gets to the point, but gives me information. So think about that when you're writing your blog. It's definitely one of our golden rule suggestions. Remember that you're part of the community. This is important to remember. Blogging is rarely fit for lone wolves. You're part of a whole ecosystem of its, whether it's good or navigates and it's communicative with other people on the internet. Even bloggers in your own field, they're not your enemies. So think of, these, even though you're both competing for the same audience, you can draw from each other's knowledges and good practices. You can socialize with them, connect with them, discuss common topics you care about, maybe even have them on as a guest blogger. It's about connecting even with other bloggers, and that can be hugely beneficial for everybody. So surprise and reward your audience. This is definitely a golden rule. People love surprises and gifts. Who doesn't? I mean, the reason my wife listens to me even some of the time is because I surprise her. I give her gifts. It works a treat. So think of ways to engage with your audience. Even better, surprise them in a good way. There's many ways to do this. You can have competitions, giveaways. We often see like and share this to chance to win. So that can be a powerful way to create engagement. But definitely think of that. Like, have surprises, have maybe surprise guests on your blog, give away prizes and have competitions, get engagement. Okay, so let's have a look at how to create a blog. Okay, so we have, there's self-hosting or there's a free blog. Free blogging services are fine. Obviously, the upside is it doesn't cost you a dime. You can sign up with 5 minutes and you can start writing your blogs right straight away. Some of the drawbacks is, your blog appearance it'll be basic, and in addition to that, your blog address will be unprofessional. It's going to have, your blog site .freeblogging.com and not yourblog.com. So it does lack a bit of professionalism. Nevertheless, you will have your own private space and you can start putting your ideas and your thoughts together. So I wouldn't rule it out completely. But having said that, self-hosted blogs, if you have plans to dedicate more time and effort in your blogging and make it as successful at some point, well, start with a self-hosting blogging from day one, I would say. You've no limits. You'll be able to earn money through your blog, and it's a much better option. The drawbacks obviously is it costs some money. Now, domain names, www.yourblog.com, whatever your blog name is, they're going to be around $10 a year. The web hosting is roughly 3 to 5, depending on how much memory you're going to use, storage. So it's not huge money. But I would lean towards the paid version. Choosing your blog topic and content and stay on message. Okay, so finding the niche, a topic or a category is essential for your blog. Otherwise, you'll fail from day one. And believe me, I've mentored hundreds of beginners in blogging who all want to make it, but they fail since they haven't chosen a clear topic that they're going to focus on. So it's a simple rule I usually suggest. Choose a topic that you're interested in. If you know more about something than, say, 99% of the rest of people, go with that. That way you can write about something that you're passionate about. And in that way, readers will want to read your blog. They'll come back for more. They'll share your content on social media. They'll buy your products and services, your consultation service. So stick to something you're interested in, something you enjoy and like. And choose a blogging platform. Well, choosing a blogging platform where we host it. We're going to look at this in more detail in a moment, but we do need to choose one. Well, then we have getting a domain name or web hosting. So, to set up a self-hosting WordPress blog, you'll need two things. A domain name. This will be your personal blog address where people will find you over and over again. For example, Google's is obviously www.google.com. Your new blog name will be www.blogname.com. And the cost of domain name is usually around $10 a year. So WordPress are obviously, the big guys in this area. They dominate the space, so it's a good one to start with. So set up your self-hosting blog. Set up your self-hosting blog is by now you should have maybe had your domain name, a great hosting provider, blogging platform to get started with. So maybe some of you even signed up with a hosting company, installed, say, WordPress blogging platform. So once you've completed WordPress installation and you have a fully working self-hosted blog on your domain name, that's a huge step towards a successful blog. You're halfway there. So start blogging now. You can create your content and go out from there. So let's have a look at choosing a platform. Well, there's lots of different blogging platforms to choose from. You've got WordPress, Tumblr, Blogger, Squarespace. There's many, many more. Now, given that there's 72 million active users on WordPress today, it's clear which platform is the boss. And here's why. It's free, it's easy to install, it's insanely easy to set up. It's super secure, so WordPress always update their software and keep everything sound and secure. So it's rarely a worry in having a blog come under hacking. So it's no wonder then that Sony and NASA and even Universal Blogs are using WordPress. Now I know when people hear Sony and they think of hacking, they can remember Sony being hacked not so long ago, and that's true. It wasn't their blog though, I can assure you. Okay, so there's hundreds of free themes and plugins, and you can add more functionality to your blog, from contact or subscribe box to the plugins that improve blog performance and much, much more. So, while other blogging platforms are generally all pretty good, if you're not sure where to begin, then not a lot of time you don't want to waste a lot of time, and you want some suggestion. I would say for beginners, start with WordPress. Okay, so how do I get a domain name and a hosting? All right, well, let's have a look. You've got a couple of different options. You've GoDaddy, Bluehost, iPage. Here's a HostGator with some statistics from them in terms of response time. And you've got 100% uptime. You know, it's like 0 for downtime. So they're a good one. GoDaddy, obviously, we would recommend them. They're huge, one of the biggest in the world. So it's about going to these sites, having a look around, see what suits you best. Going in, have a look. It's a very easy process to go ahead and set it up. Normal domain names, they're going to cost you around $10 per year. Now, be careful out there that you don't end up getting, you know, overcharged in some other space. Stick to some of the big names and make sure you're not getting overcharged. There is some places I've come across that just charge outrageous prices. So it should be around $10 per year, I think is reasonable to kind of focus on there. Okay, so let's have a look at some of some examples of some business blogs, okay? So I want to just open up MailChimp. Obviously, MailChimp is a email software tool. Very good. We're going to cover this in our actual email marketing lesson. So, you know, don't worry too much if you're not familiar with these. We'll go through it in detail in that lesson. And we'll go through just like Constant Contact, there's MailChimp, there's lots and lots of other ones. But the interesting thing is these guys, they provide an email marketing tool. So what are they going to blog about? Okay, well, let's have a look, because their blog's really, really good. Increasing revenue through abandoned cart messaging and incentives. So they're talking about the industry. They're talking about the whole marketing industry, and they can branch out and decide what they're going to talk about here. So you've got these really kind of engaging pictures, headlines, and then you've all these different blog posts that you can read more about if you want. You go down here, they're talking about growing your lists with Facebook, with leads, ads, and Zyper. So, you know, this is fantastic. There's lots and lots of interesting different articles. And you can see, you know, how regular these guys are updating. You know, it's just, that's the important thing. It's 10th of March 2016. Okay, so, you know, that was yesterday they wrote a post. So this is what we need to look at. We need to make it clear, easy to get around, engaging, you know, something that people are interested in. Let them have a little taste of it, and then want to read more, they can click in, go in here, and it's easy to get through. It's easy reading, it's clearly laid out. There's some links to other products and other areas that they, you know, that MailChimp provide. So they offer some, they're talking about incentives. So there's all this, and then you can post, you can subscribe for email updates. You know, you can go in there, yeah, this sounds really interesting. I want to get more of this. I know I do that when I'm on a blog. I read through it. If I'm interested, I'm going to leave my email. I want to get updates. I want to be reminded what's happening. So very, very good example there of a blog and a way that you can branch out in the industry you're in. Keep focus and on point, but at the same time, decide what your message is going to be about and then stick to that. Okay, so then we have Topshop. Topshop is a huge retail player in Ireland and the UK. They're massive, and you know they're big in their industry. They have a lot of authority, all kind of cool and fancy and sexy, nice stuff. So they call their, you know, being sexy and fancy, they call their blog magazine. Okay, so that's fine. We click in here. The important thing is we can see all of this content, all of these different blog posts that we can read. And what's really good then, you know, you've got fashion, you've got beauty, you know, style. So they've broken up into different categories. But you can go in then and read. Say we have a look here at beauty. So they've got some, you know, some information. They've got a video about putting on makeup. They've got some blog posts about the product, but then they've also got some image, and also they're you know, they're an online retail shop here, so they're shop now, buy the product. So this is how we can integrate the two together, you know, and there's some other products down there that you can buy. So it's a really smart way. As I said, you look back here, you can see lots of different options, and it's easy. See how easy it is to get around, how easy and clear it's laid out. That's the way it needs to be. It needs to be like that. Okay, so we have to have a look at an Irish one, of course. Hopefully now it loads up okay for me. Yeah, Cool Beans. It's an Irish company. Lovely branding, nice colours. They basically have food, called it Cool Beans. Okay, so like what you're talking about earlier, our story. How many people go in and have a look at our story or about us? But blog? Yeah, let's go into the blog. That's what we want to go to. And these guys, it's a very simple website. It's laid out well, but again, they have, there's an international year of the pulse. You can add a comment. If you want to continue reading, you can read here, read more about the area, the interest. All the cool kids are eating cool beans, a bit of fun, talking about Graham Norton. Again, it's easy to get around. I can make comments. So it's basically, there's a Taoiseach from Ireland, so a politician that they're getting promoting their brand and their products. So there's lots of stuff to read here, lots of different interesting articles, and the main thing as well is they're regularly updating their posts, okay? And it's easy to get around and have a look at them. So good for them, good on them. So we have the Moz.com, okay? Moz.com is one I would recommend. Go and have a look at that. It's a blog. We go in actually and have a quick look, because this is something that I would recommend everybody to read. A really interesting blog here, especially in relation. It's all about marketing tools, what's happening in the industry. Do go in and have a look here, go through this. I read this regularly. I know myself and a lot of the other educators share and talk about different articles on here. It's very easily laid out. You've got different topics about your SEO, business, your content, and you can comment on it, read more about the post. Again, detailed. There's a video if you want to click in and watch the video. All the information's there. You've got a video transcript, which is great. It's easy. It's informative. You've got social media buttons here that I can share. If I feel this article is really interesting and good, I'll tweet it. I'll share it with my students. So you can learn from these guys. Go in and have a look at their blog as well. It's very, very good, and it's very informative. It's one thing I would suggest for all of you to keep on top of in terms of the industry. Okay, so let's have a look at the conclusion. We're coming towards the end, so I want to go through a blog like we talked about. It's a regular updated online entry. So let's simplify it. So we're going online, continually making up-to-date entries about your product, your service, engaging with your community, becoming an authority in the area. Okay, there's different types of blogs we looked at. We had a look at the different options in what types of blogs we might go with. We then also said, what a blog will do. Well, it's going to boost your online presence. So that's one of the biggest benefits. It's going to, drive traffic to your site. It's going to help you from an SEO point of view. So improve your SEO visibility. It's going to encourage social interaction. So it's going to be able and allow your potential customers to share across their social media platforms, and then from there you basically you're connecting with the wider audience. It establishes authority in your field. So while you're blogging, it gives you the opportunity to talk and explain what it is you do and what you're about, and to become an authority in the area. So if you have a business, obviously you're interested. If you work in a business, you're interested in that subject, that area. It's something you're passionate about. Well, then when you start blogging about that will come through, and then you'll start to become an authority in the area, and from there that will lead to conversions. So we've increased sales and conversions. That's, this is why we're doing this. We're doing our blogging from a commercial point of view to get more sales in, or more conversions, to get people to read our articles. If we're a charity, it's to get people to read the blogs, to become more informed, to make donations. If we're looking for sales, it's to give people information about the industry and then drive them towards sales. So the principles remain the same no matter what our business is. The golden rules of blogging, we went through the golden rules, so do pay attention to them and make sure that that we kind of follow that line. Don't get into arguing or get aggressive, or don't follow our friend from lesson 2, Amy's Bakery. Treat your customer well, listen to what they're saying. And how to create a blog, we talked about that. We had a look at that in an overview way. Where to host your blog, we went through a couple of different options there, and then we had a look at the end some examples of a blog. Okay, so obviously this is going to be it's a recorded lesson, so we obviously don't have a Q&A at the end, but please do feel free and don't hesitate in contacting us. You can contact us on Twitter, on Facebook. You can email us in at Marketing at the Show Academy. you can call us. Hopefully your program support manager would have been in touch with you now at this stage, or will be very shortly, so engage with them as well. But don't hesitate, ask us any questions you need to. I want to thank you very much for your attention. I've really enjoyed delivering this lesson. It's a great lesson. Obviously we've gone in an overview way. Blogging is one course, one subject on this big course that we do. So we cover a lot. There is a full course that delivers blogging, but I hope from this lesson it's given you some ideas in terms of where you want to go from here. So again, thank you very much for your attention. I look forward to chatting to you all very soon. Okay, take care. Bye bye.